All right, good afternoon, traders. Today is March 31st, last day of the month, 2026. My name, Coach Carignan, lead instructor here at the BYOB Trading Room. Thank you for being here. Thank you, everybody out there in podcast land, digital land, cyber land. Thank you for following, liking, subscribing, and leaving kind comments on my social media. Appreciate that. Love that. Special shout out to Bob Jordan, John Jordan, Kathy, Sarah Roasted, Ed Carter, Rick Sadler, everybody that shares the BYOB content so that we can grow the community. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. Big shout out to all my members. Thank you so much for your subscriptions. You guys help keep the lights on. I appreciate that. Try to provide actionable, profitable content every day. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, let's drill down. Let's see how I made 3K today, and let's take a peek at the markets. So, excuse me, before I get started, let's take a look at, okay, we got Thursday. All right, that's a couple days from now, April 2nd, day after April Fool's. We're going to have a webinar in the combo room, all right, at noon till 3. If you don't see me here in the BYOB Trading Room, that's where I'm going to be. So we're going to have members e-learning in the combo room on April 2nd. Topic's going to be setting stops. Topic's going to be setting targets, all right? Let's take a peek at that, and that's going to happen Thursday. If you're looking for those recordings, they're up here in your hit and run candlesticks. Go over to resources, hit public, hit e-learning replay. You can see in there you got about 10 videos per page, and we have about 35 pages of videos. That's 350 pages of videos. Excuse me, that's 350 videos, okay? 35 pages. Then if you go down to public webinar, each page has 10 videos, and you go down to the bottom of that, and you'll find that you have 20 pages of 10 videos there. That will be another 200 videos. That's a total of about 550 videos. Not to mention, each of us has a YouTube, a social media to get out there. So if you can't find enough out of content out of the 550 videos that we have posted, we've got even more on each one of us has our own YouTube channel that you could just log into that or actually just subscribe to. And I'm sure you'll find plenty of content there. All right, so that's that happens Thursday. All right, so let's take that down. Let's talk about the markets this morning. Let's take this down, and let's push this over. All right, for right now. Move it all the way over. See what else we got for slides here. This morning, all right. Well, the previous morning, okay. See if I got that slide. I do not have that slide. Previous morning, I was looking for a 10-minute, a continuation to the 10-minute uptrend. And you can see right here, right out of the gate, we crashed. All right, we went red candle, first 10-minute candle went down. So I had to wait for the 10-minute downtrend, and we got that. We traded that to the downside. Now, if you want to see what a picture of money looks like, all right, this is a picture of money. Okay, you see the 8 EMA, you see the VWAP line, see how the mouth between the two of them gets wider and wider and wider. That right there is a picture of money. If you're not sure about that, you come down here to the PPO on the 10-minute chart, and you can see the PPO. It's got a 10-minute downtrend right there. You can see the sticks and the 3 are riding underneath the 8. And you can see right here we've got below negative 0.06. Anything less than that, that's pretty much money right there. That shows you that momentum. So you can see there was a nice trade right there, all the way down into about 330 right there. So today, And so yesterday I got burned, but I caught the 10-minute downtrend, made up for all of it and more. So today I decided I'm going to wait because we spotted over here, we spotted 440 was resistance. And the day before we spotted 440 was resistance because we broke down there. See that 10-minute downtrend on the 27th. And then we got another 10-minute downtrend on Monday. That was the 30th. Okay, so we saw a resistance there at 640. Okay, so what I wanted to see was price action break 640, hold the area, and then I'd be interested in a 10-minute uptrend up there. Okay, so if you look at what happened today, we got up on 640. All right, consolidated, kind of went to the side. And then we had a little breakout right here, a little wind up. You can see right here, you got the 3 and the sticks riding up over on top of the 8. So we got a 10-minute uptrend. You can see daylight there between the 3 and the 8. You can see into the close, we got a 10-minute uptrend. As you can see, daylight between the 3 EMA and the 8 EMA, 10-minute uptrend. Okay, again, all right, you see that picture of the mouth of the 8 EMA and VWAP. See how it gets bigger, bigger, and bigger and bigger right there? That's another picture of easy money. Okay, easy money was made here on this 10-minute downtrend where the mouth of the 8 EMA and the VWAP just gets bigger and bigger. Easy money was made here on this 10-minute downtrend where the mouth of the VWAP and the 8 EMA gets bigger and bigger and bigger on the 10-minute chart. All right, so, and then we made it over here on the plus side. You can see the mouth get bigger and bigger and bigger. And if there's any doubt, you should be stepping into this. You can see the PPO on the 10-minute chart is over 0.06, okay? So you either want it below negative 0.06 or you want it above positive 0.06. So right here you can see clearly we got the 0.10 that's higher than 0.06. And then you got that picture of money right there. Easy money, that is. Easy money, okay? So there's SPY on the 10-minute chart. All right, so we got a 10-minute uptrend coming into the close. 2-hour chart. Let's see what we got here. I'm going to go to a different one. Let's hit this one right here. I'm going to push this down. And I'm going to take the trading off right now, just for right now. Okay. What do we got? 2-hour chart. All right, so you got the sticks and the 3. You got the 3 is riding up on top of the 8, so you got a 2-hour uptrend coming into the close. If you want to see what the game plan did for today, let's take a peek at the game plan. Okay, so we had, this is posted out on social media as well as in the room. Okay, so on the pivot, I said I would be interested. All right here. Here's the plan. No, that's not the plan. Here's the plan right here. Okay, plan to wait for the 10-minute uptrend over 640.50 or a 10-minute downtrend underneath the pivot 634.50. Okay, so we'll take a peek. Here's the pivot. We never got the downtrend. Notice we got a bullish gap up, not filled by the bears, showing weakness on the bears' part after tagging that that 1/3 area or breaking below the bottom of quadrant 4, trying to get back up into quadrant 4. Okay, so here we are. Green erases red right up here. Again, I wanted to see us consolidate over 640. We were able to do it for more. I said more than 1 hour, so that'd be 6 10-minute candles. So we got more than 6 10-minute candles up here, okay, or over an hour. You can see these are 15-minute candles. Come on, baby. Come on. Really? Sorry about that, trader. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so 15-minute chart. You can see got 1, 15, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 15-minute candles. Nice 10-minute, 10-minute uptrend right there going into the close. Back to the 10-minute chart, 10-minute uptrend. You can see daylight between the 3 EMA and the 8 EMA. Nice 10-minute uptrend. I'll be looking for a continuation of that tomorrow morning. All right, continuation. Again, we got to get up on top of 650. Okay, because we got rejected before at 650. Okay, right here. Okay, we were up on top, got underneath it, and then we came all the way down. All right, so as long as we don't get rejected at 650, I like to trade that 10-minute uptrend. So you can see here's your green erases red. You clearly had a nice 10-minute uptrend to trade right there. So nice work there. So you want to see what happened on QQQ. Let me just tell you, we got some talented people here in the BYOB Trading Room, and I'm grateful for each and every one of you. I really love the way that you guys share and help the community grow and help the community out so that we all succeed. So here's this morning, all right, and here's the game plan for, this is provided by John Jordan right here. This is QQQ. So he says above, notice right here, above 565.61. He wants to be bull. He's saying right here is probably a profit-taking area, as well as right here might be a profit-taking area. So above 565.61, he's telling you that's probably a good entry if you get an uptrend going on, okay? So you want to see what happened, all right? And, of course, the results don't lie right here. Here it is, 565.61. See, nothing's changed, all right? Right on up to 568.17, little profit-taking area there. Okay, and then you can see we got a breakout to R1 and R2 all the way up here. So beautiful rip right there on that 10-minute uptrend on the QQQ. So if you don't like my game plan, you can trade John's. And you can see John gave you the guidance, all right? And another picture of, hey, let me just call it what it is. Easy money right there. There's the VWAP. There's the 9 EMA. See the distance between the 9 EMA and the VWAP. Just grow, 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 grow. All right? And this is on a 15-minute chart, right? 15-minute chart. And it's, yeah, right there, 15-minute chart. So beautiful picture of money again. Another picture of money right there. So we had some yesterday, we had some Friday, and we got some today. So way to go, traders. All right, I'm happy for all of you. Thanks for hanging out with us here today. Nice going. Let's take this down, and let's take a look at the rest of the market. All right, so there's SPY. There's the QQQ. 2-hour chart. You can see I already kind of flashed it up there earlier. Okay, you got the 3 EMA and the candlesticks up over the 8. Okay, so 2-hour uptrend coming into the close. Daily candle. Wow, look at that daily candle. Let's go over here where it's less crowded. Okay, so higher low, higher high, closing over a bearish trap under the falling 17. Okay, I'm going to pan way out. Okay, so you can see this is the origin of our move right here, April. And we go up, kind of bull flagged over, and then we kind of roll over. So a little pullback to the origin of the move, low anchored VWAP right there. See that teal line? Well, we come in and strike right there. So SPY able to maintain bullish stature or nature by staying in the upper third the whole time. See, they got dangerously close to getting popped out of the upper third. And when I say the upper third, you take these quad lines and you divide it into 3 equal sections. So down there below the crosshairs would be bearish. Up here above the crosshairs, okay, that's going to be bullish. Up there, anything in between right here on the 50-yard line, that's all going to be neutral. All right, so you can see we're still in a downtrend on the daily chart because we're making lower lows and lower highs. Nice bullish engulfing candle. Wonder if we'll get some follow through to that tomorrow. Going to need some follow through. Other than that, it's just one bullish engulfing candle, okay? So we don't want a doji tomorrow. We don't want a sword candle, especially if the sword is pointed straight up. All right, we want a nice follow-through candle on this bullish engulfing, okay? So nice bounce right here off of about the 33% line right there. Okay, this is my 33. If you want to know where it lines up, let's see, right there. Okay, about 626, right around there, 626, 625 something. So we got really close to getting out of the upper third, but we recovered nicely today. That's one heck of a bounce, okay? Because that's 629 all the way up to 649. That's a $20 move, okay? And you can see that's a lot of volatility. It's going to be added into the options when you get moves like that. Okay, so there's SPY on the daily chart. We're still bullish, but we're still in a downtrend. Nothing's changed yet. Okay, still in a downtrend, still bullish, which was the same thing we were yesterday. All right, but we do have something new. We have evidence that the bulls have showed up down here at the lower third. Well, at the middle third, right here. Okay, so there's SPY weekly chart. We're still in a downtrend because we got a low. We made a lower low. So until we make a higher high on the daily or on the weekly, we're going to remain in a downtrend because that's the last thing they did. So if they can make a higher high, they will negate the downtrend and convert the uptrend. Currently, excuse me, here's the April origin of the move. We're up, and you can see we roll over. There's a low here. We made a lower low. So we're in a downtrend, but we're bullish because we're in the upper third. But we're currently still in a downtrend on the weekly and the daily. So we need to be careful tomorrow. We need to see some follow through if you want us to get behind this move. All right, so there's SPY on the weekly. Monthly chart, you can see here's the April origin, up and over. We haven't made any lower lows. So on the monthly chart, we're still in an uptrend. Okay, and we're still bullish up here. Okay, so there's SPY. Let's take a look at QQQ. Start with the 10-minute chart, 10-minute uptrend coming into the close. I'll look for a continuation of that 10-minute uptrend tomorrow on QQQ and SPY. 2-hour candle, 2-hour chart. Got the 3 and the sticks riding up on top of the 8 here. Got daylight between the 3 and the 8, so we've got a 2-hour uptrend coming into the close on QQQ. On the daily candle, we've got higher sound. Is the sound? Can you hear the sound now? Can you hear me? Sound is on. Is it not on? Should be on. Can you guys hear me? Well, I got the video on anyways. All right, so we'll see what happens. All right, so we got bullish engulfing on the QQQ. Higher low, higher high, closing over a bearish trap under the falling 17. Under the all-time high anchored VWAP right here in the upper third. So that's bullish, but still in a downtrend. All right, test, test, test. Can you guys hear me? All right, okay. Was the sound on earlier, Brent? I see the sound waves were moving. They're moving over here on my. They're moving up there. Let me see. Yeah, they're moving up there on the Camtasia. Did I have the sound on earlier? Good now. For the first 2 or 3 minutes, and then I got knocked off. Oh man, I hate that. All right. Well, anyways, it's recorded. All right, it's recorded, and I'll post it up here later so you guys can catch it. Pretty much, you guys know what happened. 10-minute uptrend into the close, 2-hour uptrend into the close, daily candle higher low, higher high, closing over bearish traps. Still in a downtrend, but bullish because it's in the upper third. I'm going to complete this. QQQ. All right, we've got QQQ bullish, still in a downtrend. We haven't made any higher highs. Okay, so on the weekly chart for QQQ, still in a downtrend, but bullish because we're in the upper third right there. If that's QQQ. Monthly chart, you can see right here, monthly, we're still in an uptrend because we have not made any lower lows, and that's QQQ. All right, let's take a look at Diamond Dow. And Diamond Dow on the daily chart. All right, so they were in the neutral area. All right, because this is the 33 right here, this line. They were neutral. Now they're back to bullish, but they're still in a downtrend. They have not made any higher highs. So there's Diamond Dow, higher low, higher high, closing over a bearish trap, but under the falling 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP. Let's take a look at IWM. Higher low, higher high, closing over a bullish trap, under the falling 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP, back in quadrant 4, bottom of quadrant 4. That's bullish, but we're still in a downtrend unless we take out that high right there. See that little itsy-bitsy high right there that pokes through? If we take out that high, we can be in an uptrend. Right now, we're still in a downtrend on IWM. Let's take a look at FNGU. All right, a higher low, higher high, closing in a bearish trap under the falling 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP. We're still bearish because we're in the lower third, and we're still in a downtrend because we're making lower highs and lower lows. So we haven't made a higher high yet, so we're still in a downtrend for FNGU. So bearish and in a downtrend. And I just want to say something, all right? I said it this morning. I'm going to repeat it right now. Okay, this is the end of the first quarter. All right, a lot of we had some nice payrolls these for the beginning quarter of this year. Okay, so all those payrolls now have to send that money off to the the fund managers that manage 401ks and IRAs and all that retirement nature stuff. Okay, so I'm just saying this is probably a little bit of the beginning, all right, of those employee allocations where the money managers start putting that stuff to work. And let me just say, I mean, money managers really want performance. And if you want performance, you're not going to get it buying Flora Power and Light, okay? Just going to tell you right there. That would be a safety place, all right? Hormel Foods, that would be a safety, all right? Security, okay? If you want, the tip of the spear, a lot of growth available, you want technology, okay? So if you want to see what happened with technology today, I'm on a daily chart. I just showed you all 4 indices. Here's the SMH. Okay, bullish engulfing right there. Okay, so like I say, get ready. These first couple of days, well, actually these next probably 5 trading days, those money managers probably going to put it to work. And the most flashy plays with the best performance most of the time usually comes from the tech sector. And there's actually one index that's heavily laden with tech, and that would be the QQQ. So if you want probably looking for an edge when it comes to performance, think about trading the QQQ as opposed to the SPY. SPY's got some financials in it. It's got Caterpillar. It's got some other stuff in it. It's got some software. It's got a little bit of everything, okay? But if you want like a tighter wound technology index, you should really think about the QQQ, okay? Because that would be the one. You could probably get a lot of performance out of that these next 5 days to the upside. We'll see what happens, but that would be the one to choose, all right? So keep an eye on that QQQ. If you got a little 2-hour uptrend, you might want to trade that 2-hour uptrend till it ends anyways, all right? Just saying, I'm not telling anybody what to do, but just saying I would be, if you want technology, and that would probably be what they're going to buy, those fund managers, is probably going to be buying the Microsoft, the Google, the Amazon, all the big ones that are the high tech, okay? They'll probably be looking at those. All right, so there's the SMH showing a bearish head and shoulders right there. And we came down to support, bounced right there. That's SMH. You want to see XLK? This will be XLK. And I got a feeling this is probably going to be a big part of what they're going to be buying starting tomorrow, maybe the day after. All right, maybe next week. We'll see. But I would think this is where your growth is going to come from, and this is where your performance is going to come from. Okay, so this would be the place in the tech and the SMH. Okay, remember all that AI, right? That was all in QQQ, right? Because it was all, not that it wasn't in SPY as well, but you got QQQ is the NASDAQ 100. That's significantly less stocks or securities than the S&P 500, which hence has probably close to 500 securities. Okay, so it's tighter, and it's more geared towards technology. Okay, so think about the QQQ as opposed to the SPY. Probably get better performance from the QQQ than you would the SPY. All right, but it's going to be more prone to however technology does. So if technology's out of favor, it's not going to do that well. But if technology's in favor and all those fund managers want to put that employee allocations back to work, I think you're going to do well. I don't know. We'll see. All right. But I would think that that's what they want. I know if I was investing somebody's money, and I'm just saying that, I'm not saying to do it. I'm just saying that, I mean, if I'm thinking about it for myself, like from that standpoint, I would look at the QQQ as opposed to the SPY. Okay, so there's tech right there, obviously making a turnaround, all right? Okay, somebody put the car in reverse, and now we're going back in the other direction now, maybe. Hold it, maybe, we'll see. SMH, same thing. Okay, see, it looked like we were driving off a cliff, then somebody hit the brakes and put the car in reverse. Okay, there's SMH right there. All right, let's go take a look at silver and gold. Okay, silver had a nice day. Higher high, higher low, closing over. That's a bullish cross because the 3 crosses over the 8 from under to up over bullish cross, over the falling 17, still under the all-time high anchored VWAP, still in neutral territory, not in the upper third, not in the lower third, so neutral, still in a downtrend until we make a higher high. Silver, neutral, and still in a downtrend, but nice candle today. That was nice. Gold, nice candle on gold. Higher low, higher high. Closing over bearish trap, okay? Haven't quite crossed yet. Over the bearish trap. Closing under the falling 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP. At the bottom of quadrant 4, so that's bullish. because it's in the upper third. So that's bullish, but we're still in a downtrend until we make a higher high. Okay, so that's the high to beat right there. Okay, got to come up there and beat that high. Take that high out, all right? And then we can negate the downtrend and convert the uptrend. So currently, still in a downtrend, but we're still bullish on gold. Let's take a look at USO. All right, USO outside day, higher high, lower low, closing over the bullish trap, over the rising 17, top of quadrant 4, that's bullish, all right? Still in an uptrend. You haven't made any lower lows, and you're still up over this 4-year high anchored VWAP right here. This is pink line. Okay, and this is the origin of our move right here, 2023. See that low? Okay, from that low, we made this high. That's not an all-time high, okay? It's high. It's actually a 10-year high, but that's not an all-time high. If you want to see all-time high looks like, there's your all-time high, okay? Way up here at 957, okay? So that's a nice high. It's just a 10-year high, okay? See up there? Or maybe an 8-year high, okay? We're at 2026. This is 2018, all right? So 8 and 8, all right? Make 26, all right? Well, 18 and 8 make 26, so that's right there. So that's a 8-year high. Pretty close if they come over the top there. Let's see what the top is. The high is 129.92. The high is 130.93. So we go past that. Yeah, you can see all the way back to 2015. So we got like a 10-year high because we beat that high right there. So we're 10-year high up here, all right, on USO. I think you can get up to 187 right here. See that valley right there between this peak and this peak? I think it gets right there, right underneath that bottom of that valley right there. So that low, that would be my target, 180. All right, but remember, you're in this to make money, all right, not to hit targets. So if you got good profits, protect them, all right. But I think it has a possibility to get up there to 180. We'll see. All right. I mean, already we're at the 10-year high. Nice work on USO. All right, let's take a look at UNG. All right, back to the daily chart. Okay, obviously USO bullish and in an uptrend. Let's take a look at UNG. UNG got higher high, higher low, closing under a bearish trap, under the 17, under the 12-month high anchored VWAP. Okay, quadrant 1, so that's bearish. Okay, that's all-time low right there for UNG. So that's bearish and still in a downtrend. They have not made any higher highs. Okay, so that's UNG. Let's take a look at technicals. T2101. We moved up today, and you would have thought participation would have increased, and we melted off some more with the absolute breadth. Okay, so less and less participation. All right, what happens when that's like that, you get a whole lot more volatility in the markets, and then you start getting these $11 moves, $20 moves, $30 moves, because there's nobody out there to participate in the trading. All right, so T2101, whereas yesterday I saw it as bullish, I got to tell you today I'm right back to bearish, because we were bullish today with that bullish engulfing candle, and notice participation did not increase at all. Okay, just did not. Actually, it got lower. See, this is where we were yesterday, and we got lower today. So the thinner and thinner we have with participants, the more volatility you're going to see in the markets. That's T2101. All right, they're probably waiting for that exhaustion capitulation candle to get re-involved in it. All right, so it's T2101. Here's T2122. You can see we did not make it into the buyer's chop zone. We made a brief appearance, okay, here and here, but the bears threw us out. Okay, they Just enough time to grab some sugar and some cream and drink a cup of coffee in the seller's chop zone. Okay, that's it. Bears threw us out. Okay, no honey. All right, so there's T21.22. That's a 15-minute chart. You can see in the last month, T21.22. This is one continuous line. The majority of it, all underneath this 50-yard line. All right, see that? That would be the midpoint where the Bulls have control up here. All right, and the Bears have control down here. So you can see for the month of March, whole lot of bearish control. We were up there for a little bit, but all in all, the Bears did make us feel unwelcomed and pushed us back down in here. Okay, so we tried to stay up here with the Bulls. You can see right there, half a day, and then the Bears threw us back down here, and a little bit there, and Bears threw us. See, every time we get up there, we get kind of thrown out. Okay, so very hard to get up there, and that's why it's so important that I talk about is we get up there and we hold that higher ground, consolidate, hold the higher ground. Just hasn't been able to do it. That's T21.22. That's the 4-week new high, new low ratio right there. T21.23. It's a 15-minute chart. That's the all-time high right over there. See that shelf up there? So we'll put the quad lines in. You can see we're down here in quadrant 1, so that's bearish. We're under the falling 200 SMA. That's where you want to be if you're a bear. Underneath that 200 SMA, you can see here's the midpoint. We're under that. We're all the way down here, quadrant 1. That's bearish. And you can see we're making lower highs and lower lows. There's a low. There's a lower high. There's a lower low. So we're in a downtrend. T21.23. Okay, so not to mention you got bearish gap down here, and it hasn't got filled by the Bulls at all. So tall order to be done there with the Bulls. So we're still in a downtrend, even with today's candle here on T21.23, 15-minute chart. So bearish, still in a downtrend. On the 15-minute chart, T21.23, 3-bar chart. I'm going to take this out of here. Okay, so I'm going to delete it. Okay, so over here, 2024, we got an all-time high, December 2024, all-time high right there. Okay, pull back. Here's the origin of our movement back here in April. We go up. Okay, notice we go up here, there's an all-time high. We make a new all-time high right here. Pull back, make a higher low, and then rip, consolidate over the 200 SMA, and then rip again to make a new all-time high. So 2024, new all-time high. 2025, hey, new all-time high. 2026, hey, new all-time high right here. Now you can see price action on the 3-bar chart. Okay, it's under the 200. Again, not my place to be. Not my favorite place unless I'm a bear, and I'm currently, I'm still bearish. All right, we'll see until we get that follow through tomorrow, and then I could be converted back to a bull. All right, but I haven't seen the bulls show up in a while, so we'll see what happens. But that's just one candle. All right, even a blind squirrel finds a nut. So there you go. All right, so we'll wait. All right, see what happens tomorrow. Get some follow through. Again, looking for those employee allocations to kick in tomorrow. All right, and Tuesday, or excuse me, and Thursday. Remember, we're closed on Friday. Okay, so we're up here and we're in from the total picture. We're up in quadrant 4, so that is bullish up there. All right, but we're in a downtrend even on the 3-bar chart because we're making lower highs and lower lows. Okay, so we're still up in quadrant 4. So we're bullish, but still in a downtrend until we start making some higher highs. That's 3-bar chart, T21.23. FNGU, stinker on the 15. Let's see what they did today. Bullish gap up. Very nice. Okay, bears never filled a gap. That's a big bullish clue whenever the Bears can't fill the gap by noon. That's a big bullish clue right there. Price action. We got a high. We made higher highs, so we're in an uptrend on the 15-minute chart now. Okay, and I'm going to try and capture as much of this move as I can all the way back here. You can see, from what might be the all-time high way back here, we're still in quadrant 1, so we're bearish, all right, but we're in an uptrend on the 15-minute time frame. Still bearish. Remember, we're still underneath that 200 SMA. We're all the way down here in quadrant 1. We're underneath the all-time pink line. That's the all-time high anchored VWAP. So still bearish, but in an uptrend on the 15-minute. Maybe that will transcend up to the daily time frame. They need to keep this going so it can transcend to bigger time frames. All right. Other than that, it's just go up, give it up. We'll see what happens. Okay, so that's FNGU. All right, that's it for me for today. All right, appreciate everybody. Thank you. I will get the video posted up there in the alerts as soon as possible. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Looks like the sound went off. Having a lot of AV problems lately. All right. Sometimes it's Camtasia. Sometimes the internet just craps out on me and I have to reboot or reload. So just bear with me. We'll get it fixed. All right. Thank you, everybody. I think everybody made some money today. Again, another picture of money. So we'll see you all tomorrow at 8 o'clock.